Hey guys, in this video I just want to show you the methods I used to mod Rumble Rose X. So before we get into that, I just want to make sure that you understand that you need a modded Xbox 360, be it JTAG or reset glitch hacked, whatever. You're also going to need a way of transferring files from the 360 to the PC and vice versa, so back and forth. Commonly, you would use FPT. Okay, that might not be an issue and not an option for you. If that's the case, just get a USB memory stick, put it in your 360. You can format it, and that will allow it to be used as a storage device for the 360. So you can take it from your 360 and plug it into your PC, which your PC won't be able to recognize, but if you download a software like Party Buffalo, you can access the memory stick and then you can copy files to it, and then through there you can unplug it and stick it back to your 360 and copy it to your hard drive. So yeah, there's two different ways you can use if that's an issue, but ultimately it's up to you to figure out all this stuff. So you're gonna have to mod your 360 and figure out the transferring stuff. Okay. So anyway, let's begin. Let me just give a quick overview here. The disk, right? Like traditionally, if you're gonna mod something, you copy the disk to your hard drive and then you mod the files off your hard drive, right? In this case, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be modding the DLC. So the cool thing about that is if you're modding from the main game, you'd have to unpack and repack a large file that's like a gigabyte big. And if you're transferring that by FPT, it could take you like all day. So with the DLC, it's a very small file. So transferring and testing mods is very quick. So that's cool. Okay. So let me just explain a bit about how the game kind of works. The game uses one character model or one base body mesh, what do you want to call it. And then it has these heads for all the girls in the game, and they're all different. And it just plugs in the body. And I'm not sure how they pulled it off, but they pulled it off. Looks like they have different skeletons in the game that kind of adjust to each girl so that she's fat or skinny or tall or whatever. So typically, yeah, if you have a unique character with a unique costume, you can't apply it to a different girl, right? Well, when the DLC came out, that's what they did. They took one costume from one girl, charged you $1, but now you can use that girl's costume on all the girls in the game. So it was curious and weird. At first I thought the DLC was just an update that would just link the character's costume to the rest of the girls or something like that. But when I actually looked at it, it was one single mesh, one character body, alright? And the game takes that character model and applies it to all the girls in the game. Alright? So it's curious because the girls in the game are different ethnicities, so different skin tones, like black, white, whatever, right? So when you look at the DLC, those skin textures are missing. So what it's doing is it looks on the disc first for textures and stuff, and then it looks at the DLC if it can't find it. So when it looks at the disc, I'm not sure how the game does it, but it finds the correct skin texture for your character model, so that when you're loading up a costume on a black girl, the skin is still black. Or if you open up the same DLC on a white girl, the skin tone is going to be white. So that's the one cool thing about how they did their DLC. Alright. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to mod some DLC. And yeah, we're going to put it back in the game. So, before we do that, I'm just going to mention where you can find the bulk of the main character models, okay? Because of the other Mac script that I put out there for vertex editing, you basically take an existing character model and mod it. So you may wish to find character models from the disc and then bring them into the DLC that way. Alright, so you might want to unpack the game's core models to mess with, is basically what I'm saying. So anyway, the main character models are stored under the pack folder, under the CH folder. And there are 6 pack files that, I guess, describe that. Now, these pack files you can unpack with QuickBMS. And QuickBMS is, it's basically a file extracting kind of program. Let me just bring it up here. Alright, so you want QuickBMS, you just type in QuickBMS. Alright, and it's made by this guy. You would download this thing, QuickBMS, and down here are all the scripts for it. And you can see here that says Ukes Games. You would download this thing, and that will unpack your pack file. Alright, so I'm not really going to show you the steps of unpacking it because it's kind of self-explanatory. You just use QuickBMS to unpack it. Alright, let's go back here. Oh, I guess before I end this, these 6 files, right? In the game, right, you have a cast of characters, but you also have alter ego characters. What that means is you have like a good one and a bad one. Like, I don't know, like nice and evil or something like that. So they call them alter egos. So you have a cast of nice, innocent girls, and you have a cast of badass alter ego girls. And so that's what these are. You have your normal and your alter ego, and then you have your superstar versions of those. So when you beat the game, you get a cool costume. So you get cool costumes on the normal side and then the alter ego side. And the last few ones here deal with props that the characters would use throughout the game for normal and alter ego. Okay. Anyway, let's get moving on here. Time's a ticking, right? So, yeah, so once you unpack stuff from the CH folder, you'll probably get something like this. I think what I'll do for demonstration purposes is I'll take a character model from here and I'll put it into one of the DLCs. Alright. That's probably a good demonstration. Alright, so let's grab some DLC. I downloaded all the DLC off some website, okay? All you really need is just one DLC package, so you can just buy one and then copy it to your PC or whatever, or you can Google it. I'm sure you can find it that way. So I'm just gonna unpack one of these guys. Let's go with this one. All right. So in here you should find a live file. So they call this thing a live file. It's a package that has all the DLC, or has one piece of DLC in it. Their names are like scrambled so that you can't really tell what they are. So they have some crazy like ABC 123 name. All right. So it would be, if you're looking for DLC off your 360, you might want to delete everything except for your game save. Don't delete your game save. Delete all the content and then just re-download one, so that's easier for you to find. Otherwise, you could have hundreds of files. But anyway, yeah, you just get one live package that is DLC here, and you have to unpack it first. So let's see if I got this in here. Oh, cool. Okay. Alright, so these are going to be tools I'll pass on to you guys. Alright, so this tool here is called WXPers. It's a little handy tool which will open up the live container. So we're just going to open up that crazy number file there, and you can extract them just by going to File and Extract All, and just hit OK, and it should dump out the files. Another thing to note here is it kind of gives you information on what the DLC is. So the DLC will be called Noble Rose or Noble Normal in the game, and it gives some crazy description. Okay, not that it really matters. The one thing this thing doesn't do is it doesn't extract all the icons, which you'll probably need later. But if you want to just remake a new icon, use a 2D editor like Photoshop, and you want to save a image as a 64 by 64 pixel image, and save it as PNG, and that makes a live compatible icon. Right. Anyway, you can close that down now. I'm going to create another folder called DLC. Wait. Yeah, it's these files. I'm going to delete this one actually, and that one. Shit. Yeah, this is all DLC files. Alright. So these three files make up the DLC. You got this one here. This is actually a package of textures. Or icons, I mean. So if I just bring up the Rubber Roses tool that I wrote in MaxScript, that's what these no, not what these buttons, I mean. Hit Browse, and you can open up this pack file. It's going to select all files. Yeah, I told you previously to use the QuickBMS script to unpack the pack file. That's because they were large gigabyte files. In the MaxScript that I wrote, it is capable of unpacking pack files, but don't use that on large files because it'll freeze your computer. This is only like a megabyte. It's not going to take a long time, so I'm going to open it up through MaxScript, and it's going to unpack it for me. Once I open it, I have to import, actually. Alright. I don't know why that popped up there. Alright, so here it is. It creates a folder called Unpacked. Now, they're given the extension DAT, but there actually is no extension. I just gave it the extension DAT. What you can do is just rename them to .jpg. In this particular pack file, they're just textures or images. So this is a preview icon for the DLC. So you can actually do another trick here if you're not too uncomfortable with using command prompt. You can start up command prompt and enter the folder directory of these files, and you can rename them in batch. So right now, my drive letter is J, so I have to enter in the drive letter, which is not J, not L. I mean J. Yeah. So now that I'm in the J drive, I can type in CD for current directory, then space, and I can paste in this address here. Alright, when I press enter, it's gonna give me that underscore thing, and it's gonna show me the path that I'm in right now. So that means I'm in this folder. So what I can do now is I can type in rename, so just REN, any file with the extension DAT to any file name with the extension JPEG. Boop. Just press enter, and there you go. So these are all the icons that are used in the DLC. So the cool thing about this is when you load it up in the game, you'll have 4 alternate colors for the model. So these are the icons for all the 4 color variants. So you can see here, blah blah blah. You got red, blue, whatever. So yeah. So yeah, if you want to mod these icons, which you probably will, just keep the same pixel resolution and just save them as Wait, are these JPEG? No, you know what? I said JPEG, but they're not JPEGs. These are TGAs, actually. Why they show up is beyond me, but oops, they are not JPEGs. Yeah, they're TGAs. Yeah, that's what they are. Crazy. Okay, save them as TGA. Alright. There's this file here that doesn't work. It's, I think it's a text file or something. I don't know what it is. Don't touch that one. I don't remember what that is. Alright, so that's what the pack file is. Now, if you want to repack it, to put it back into the game, you would use the Mac script again. You would use this feature here. It says pack, create a pack file. And then all you have to do is just go into this directory and click on the first file and then open that. And what it'll do is it'll recursively open up all the files and then save it into a pack file. Right? The extension doesn't matter. Like I said, the pack file doesn't keep extensions. So it's just going to take the file name and then store that. And then it's going to... Oh, which, by the way, there are no file names. It's given a index or a number. So that's why these file names just have numbers, because they're just given a number identifier. So don't rename them. So don't call it, oh, this is the pants icon texture. You don't want to give it a full name. Keep the same name system here, and you can repack it after that. So that's how you make a pack file. This other one here, this cost.dat, I believe it's a text file. And it just states the slot number, so this is slot 54. Alright. I haven't tried expanding it or making DLC unique yet. I imagine all you have to do is just give this a different number, like 5010 or something. I don't know. And it would give it a new slot number. Alright. Alright. So then the last thing here is this folder here. And this folder actually has the actual content of the costume in it. So the first thing here is some text files. I don't know what they mean. They're in Japanese. They probably have to do with the skeleton, but I have no idea, to be honest. This death file is again a text file, which again I'm not entirely sure on what it's doing. Clearly, it has a bunch of file paths in it because it's got directories in it. Well, I think what it does is it references to the disk and references to the DLC, because it's obviously telling where the textures are in the DLC and where the textures are on the disk here. So it must do that for some reason. Anyways, then we have this folder here called 0. Inside there, you have 4 folders. So for each costume, each color variance, you have inside a texture package. If you want to unpack the package, well, you have to go through here again, open a texture package, import it, and then it'll spit out the DDS files. So the DLC icons were stored as TGA. The character models textures are stored as DDS, so you'll need DDS plugin for Photoshop if you want to do some texture editing. So yeah, you have, well, that's a huge texture. Wow, it's nuts. Anyway, so if you want to repack this, again, you click on Create Text Pack, and you select any one of the textures, and it will create a new texture package for you. Alright, and there you go. Alright, so yeah, you have 4 folders. In each folder, you'll have a text folder for texture, and then a waste.txt package with different colors, color of textures in it. Alright, except for the 0 folder, there's an additional folder called YMM, which is the UX model. I don't know, I'm not really sure what YMM stands for, but that's the model. Alright, so this thing here we can import again with the Mac script. And so if I just bring this over here for a sec, you can see this is our model here from that file. So, get rid of this guy. So there's one model, and it's only in the 0 folder, and then the rest of the texture packages are just reference to that thing. Alright, that's pretty much it. There's one more text file here. Again, I have no idea what it does. There's Japanese comments in it. I don't know really what it says. So that's it. So let's say we want to, I don't know, we want to mod something. All we have to do is just repack this, and if you want to edit something, you edit the model or the textures or something like that, and then repack it, and then you can put it back in the game, right? So let's just do something, I suppose, simple. We'll take one of the extra characters, or what do you want to call them, like in the game, like there will be like what do you call them, NPCs, non-playable characters, yeah. So these folders here, the 4000 and 5000, should have some NPCs in it, and yeah, let's take one of those and we'll stick it into the DLC. Yeah, well, I was looking for something cool. Whatever, we'll use this. Let me just see what's in it. That's creepy. Whatever, we'll just use this one. Alright, so what is this? Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. So, we're just going to copy the two textures and the object. Alright, and I'll go back. Alright, so we're going to basically replace this model file with the NPC character model file that we got off the disk. And then we'll repackage the DLC, and we'll see how the game accepts it. Okay. So, excuse me. Let me think here. Yeah, I think I just basically renamed this. Original. Alright, we gotta repack the textures. Where's the Mac script? Alright, so this is the original. And that's my new one. Oops. Alright, so that should pretty much do it. And we are ready to repack the DLC now. So for the DLC, you should use the Xbox 360 SDK, actually. I didn't mention that earlier, but it's the most reliable way to repack the DLC. But I do know there are other tools out there. I just really haven't bothered to try them. I've downloaded them before, I just never really used them. So yeah, if you can't get a hold of the Xbox 360 SDK, Google on how to repack a live container. Because I know there was one tool out there called the Furry Fluffer or something dumb. There's something out there. I know there is, but I don't know the name. We're going to be using the Xbox 360 SDK to do this, though. So this is the Xbox 360 authorizing, I don't know, it's got some dumb name. It'll create a live container so that you can use your DLC, okay? We'll just follow the steps to the wizard here. You're creating a content package, yeah. You just follow the wizard, I guess. Content package name, test, project directory. Well, this is our project directory. I'll just paste it in here. The title ID, right? Let me just bring up my FPT. Crap. It's the Alright, this is the title ID. Alright. Oops, where am I going? Name of the game, blah blah blah. For these flags, I just type an F. Icon. There is an icon that I have here. I'm just going to use that. Alright. Content type. It's in-game content. Yes, all versions. Yep. English, yep. Then this stuff is important because it's going to show up in the game. So this is just going to be our test mod. Right. Description, doesn't matter. Hit finish. Now, as is right now, the content folder here is empty. So you have to add content into it. So you're just going to go to add file. And you're going to add all the files back in. So that was 2 files in one folder. So it's going to be this one. And this one. Right. And then you can add back in the folder. Easiest way is just to copy the URL. And then what you can do is just add the folder and then paste in the URL here. And then there you go. Now we started messing around with the files, so you might want to clean it up. So in here there's a bunch of like unwanted stuff. So you might just want to clean it up. It's taking a long time. Let's do this instead. You know what? Because the texture file I only made one, I'm just going to reference them to the same one. So we're going to put that one there. And this one I can re-reference. Alright, gotta reference that somewhere else. Alright, so this is cool. This is the folder structure, right? But what we can do is we can redirect the file being used in that spot. So I can reference the one texture package that I made to the other ones as well. So that's nice. Alright, so there we go. That's all cleaned up now. Not that it really matters, but it's all cleaned now. Okay. So that's what we need for a new package. So pretty much you can just compile it now. Let me see here my folder now. There it is. So yeah. So all you gotta do is just hit the button here, and it should make a folder called online, which is this thing. And then I can what do I gotta do? I gotta use this thing here called Yaris Swap. Now I'm not actually sure what it does, but to my understanding, to use it on a modded 360, you have to patch your DLC. So I have to go in here and patch the DLC file that was created. And then it'll say file OK, close. So now this can be transferred to my 360 now. So let's just start up my 360. All right. All right, good. Okay, so now we can just test it in game. Yeah, what's a new game? Whatever. So once we get into the locker room, we can go to customize, and our DLC should show up under the title name that we gave it. So we called it test mod, right? So go here to the end here to costume. I should bring up the test mod. Yep, there it is. Load that up. And it shouldn't be that. It should be the NPC that we took from the NPC folder. And so, yeah, you can see we got the NPC. All right. Now, the skin tone and skin color are going to not modulate. So if I load a black character, it'll be still white. All right. But if we give it a texture name that is consistent with like the disk content, it'll pick up the textures there and it'll color the skin to whatever it needs to be. So yeah, all right. So that's basically how we get a mod into the game. Now, I just did a simple file swap, right? But if you want to mod that, like vertex edit it or something using the Mac script that I put out, then it's really simple. You just do that again, but instead of swapping, you would just open up this thing in 3ds Max, and you would vertex edit, save it, and then just you repack, and there you go. So that's the whole process on how to basically get something modded in the game. It's not too complicated, and yeah, it works out pretty good. So I'm going to try and make another video which will be talking about the file analysis, because the one thing the Mac script did not cover was material editing. I didn't actually stick it in the script. It's probably best understood once I explain the file format, and it's a little bit confusing. But this thing here is the material table for individual pieces of the mesh, and it's interesting what they do. They give a definition, and then they give a piece of data, and so in that piece of data, like say for example, it says diffuse texture. There's going to be an index given, so this index is C for index 12, and that would reference to a texture list, which where are you? There it is. This is a texture list here. So these are the textures that are requested by the model. So if you wanted to modify the material system, you'd have to maybe modify the texture list and then modify a index number. All right, that's if you want to change up the material systems. All right, I'm not going to cover it in this video because it's actually kind of technical. So yeah, I'll make another video discussing or going over the file analysis. If you can follow through with that, then you'll get an idea of what going on in the file, and then you can go around with the hex editor and make these kind of changes. Okay, but yeah, that's how you would do the materials. So yeah, if you want to do vertex editing or character swapping, you can go through the DLC through this way, unpack it, and then repack it. It should work fine in the game. Okay, so there you go, guys. Hopefully that you guys can come up with your own mods and stuff, and if you do, let me know, because I love seeing people's content and stuff like that. Alright, anyway, that's it. Peace out, guys.